Hey everybody, I hope you guys are all doing okay and welcome back to our 100% completionist run here in Might and Magic VIII. And I have to say, I hope you guys are doing alright, because I myself am not doing alright. Now, no need to be alarmed, it's nothing serious, it's just that I am extremely hungover right now. I don't know if it's apparent in my voice, but I am very, very hungover. So what happened was, last night I was out with somebody who's gonna be away from the country for a while, so we were out for a night of revelry, you know, as you do, and it was definitely quite the night. So I had 2 beers, 2 glasses of wine, 1 bourbon, 1 Irish whiskey, and a whole bunch of scotch. And I have to say, not a I'm not a young man anymore. I guess you know what? I'm in my mid-30s, so definitely at this age, it just feels so much more severe having a hangover than it did when I was younger, let me tell you. But yes, why am I telling you all this? You might be wondering, and wondering rightly, because you know it is an odd thing to be sharing. But I felt that I should say this because, as part of the many effects of a hangover, you know, I've had a headache all day, like weird fluctuations in my appetite, and like aches and pains in random parts of my body. But among other things, my reflexes aren't the best right now. And the reason that is relevant is because I'm going to be attempting something in this episode that is quite tricky and that requires me to be pretty sharp when I'm trying to do it. And as a result, there may be several failed attempts, and it may seem that I'm really bad at the game, but if I struggle a lot, I am already preemptively going to blame being hungover. So I guess what I'm doing is I'm strategically lowering your expectations ahead of what may be an embarrassingly long sequence of failures. We'll see how it goes. But yes. Other than that, I realized I left you on a bit of a strange cliffhanger last episode. I was talking about, oh, this isn't gonna be a normal playthrough, crazy things are gonna happen, and it's time soon, in fact, basically now, to reveal what I meant by that. But before we get to that, it occurs to me there's something that I forgot to do last episode, which is we got our next permanent party member, Elspeth Lamentia. I really like her haircut, by the way. I think it works really well on her. But anyway, we got this party member, and I forgot that she starts with really low luck, and so she can also benefit from that well that gives you permanent luck boosts, if I can remember where it was. I believe somewhere this part of the map. Was it this well? Maybe? Let's just save the game on slot 1. Actually, no, let's create slot 5 first, because let's call it running save 5, and I'll rename the rest as I go. I generally keep 5 running saves, and I cycle through them. It's a good way, like, in case I mess something up, then I can catch it with one of the earlier saves. But anyway, you know, this is obviously not the well. Okay, I think it's somewhere in this part of the map. Yeah, I think I see it. It's right there. So we just need to... And... now... What? I said I would rename it to... running save 1. And I'll just drink as much as I can. Excuse me. And at the point where it starts saying refreshing, that's the game telling you that the well isn't doing anything anymore. All you're doing is getting hydrated, I guess, which is good in its own way, but the permanent boosts have stopped. So she now has 17 luck, I guess? Oh, no. Sorry, now I remember what happened. The well only takes you up to 17, and the reason or rather, I should say, the reason I have 19 luck is because I then also took advantage of a white barrel on the island with 2 extra luck on top of that. Alright, now that's the one thing that we had to do before we do the main thing for this episode. There are actually 2 main things that are going to happen, but one at a time. The first thing we're going to do is walk all the way here to this part of the map. And right about here, you can see off in the distance. I know the draw distance is a bit funky, you know, like I'm not moving my position on the map, all I'm doing is rotating around, and you can see it's drawing different things based on the direction I'm looking, but you can still kind of see that there's an island off in the distance, and there's a boat connected to that island. We're gonna be going there. Now, the conventional way to go there is to complete the small opening series of quests on this island. You know, you go to the end of the island, there's a bunch of teleporters, then there's a small little dungeon, really cool dungeon. And then once you go through the dungeon, it's second exit, I guess. Like, you enter from one place and then you exit from a different place. And then that exit will land you on this island, and then you can access this boat. We're going to be doing something slightly differently. We're going to be going across the water to get to the island because I am impatient. I want to go there now. The way we're going to do it is... oh god. I need to remind myself that if you want to change the text of the save files, don't double click. We're gonna jump across, and the thing is, in this game, your characters cannot swim. Ow. You can see the text at the bottom telling us, excuse me, I will be coughing a fair bit. Again, I'm gonna blame the hangover for that. It may or may not be responsible, but you know what, for now that's gonna be my scapegoat. But yes, back to what I was saying, the game even helpfully, like, it's hard to see because the text flashes so quickly, but the game does let you know, in case you were having doubts about what is happening, that you are drowning at the moment you touch basically any body of water. I guess maybe not fountains, but like any, you know, geographical body of water, let's say, you will immediately start taking drowning damage unless you have something like water walk. So you might wonder, clearly you will drown before you reach the other end, so how are you going to deal with this? Well, that's where the earlier save scumming that I did comes into play. We have potions, and I believe this should be enough potions to get across. I wish I had one more like, strong potion. By strong, I mean with a power of 10 or more. I think these should be enough. And, like I also mentioned earlier, that I was going to be doing something tricky that I might fail repeatedly at. And this is exactly that thing. There's a good chance that we are going to be here for a while with me attempting to go across without my people dying. In an ideal scenario, I would keep them both alive, but I would even settle for one of them dying as long as one of them makes it across, because then I'll be able to deal with that. Obviously, if they both die, game over. Well, not game over, like you get resurrected in Might and Magic fashion, but that's not something that I want. Alright. Like, I feel like I'm just going on, and in a way, I think I'm just stalling, because I know this is gonna be difficult and potentially hilariously embarrassing if I fail. But you know what? Time to bite the bullet. Let's just do it. We're gonna jump. First thing we're gonna do, we're gonna heal ourselves.
Ow!
Next thing we're gonna do, how much HP do you have? 26. And I think that's fine. Go ahead and take this potion.
Ow!
Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, what's... Now you take this potion. Now you take this potion. Are we gonna do it? Are we gonna do it?
It's
Oh no, oh, just barely made it across. Elspeth is unconscious but not dead, which is great, because that means she can rest up, well, she can heal up by just resting, but in fact we won't even need to rest, because what we're gonna be doing is we are going to be taking a trip on this boat right here, and before I do something dumb, let me save my progress. And we are going to very carefully, I don't want to fall back into the water, walk across this pier, these planks. We're gonna, this boat, I guess is called the Windling, whatever the name is. It's called that.
come aboard.
We're gonna talk to the Captain Calamar. We're gonna go to Ravenshore, but before we do that, I'm actually gonna make a whole separate save. I'm gonna call it Before Ravenshore. And now
Come aboard.
we're gonna go into Ravenshore. Okay, here goes.
Anchors away. Anchors away. Anchors away.
It's similar to Might and Magic VII. For some reason, that text gets garbled. Not that text. That bit of dialogue that the ship captains and the caravan captains say gets really distorted, and I'm not sure what causes it, but I have not been able to find a way to fix it. And immediately we're in Ravenshore. We're not even going to bother with barrels, although there are a lot of them. What we're going to do is... let me actually... Oh, excuse me. Let me pull this up on my phone, because I do have it marked on the map. Where are we? We are here. Okay, so we're gonna want to do is we're gonna want to go here. We're gonna want to go across this bridge into, I guess, you know, the poor working class area of town. You can tell because there's piles of trash lying around clearly. You know, this area doesn't have the best funding, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna... how far away are we? Not actually that far. We're looking actually for a specific tree. And I hope this map that I'm consulting here is accurate. Oh god, oh god. No. Is that not it? Is that not it? Hang on. Where is this tree? Should be around here. Is this the tree? This is the tree. This is the tree.
I don't know this.
Okay, now this tree will
can't
be
identify
scripted to have an artifact inside. And what artifact that is, it gets determined the moment you come to Ravenshore for the first
I can't
time.
identify it.
So right now we found this thing, which is a bit of an issue,
I don't use that.
because neither of us can use it.
I wish I could.
Now,
Who knows?
in a certain sense, it doesn't really matter what order we find the artifacts in, because as I mentioned, my goal is to get all of them, so eventually, if things work out, we will have all of them. But in a different sense, it does matter, because I would also like to find artifacts that we could actually use. To help us in the early game especially.
I
So,
don't know.
whatever
Who
this
knows?
crown is, it's nice, but I don't really like... I would rather have something we can actually use. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna load up our
Come
pre-Raven Shore
aboard!
save.
Anchors away!
We're gonna do this whole thing all over again. And as you can see, we have different barrels this time, because those are also generated upon entry into a map, and of course they will be changed around every time the map resets. So we're gonna go back to that, and unfortunately this bit of save scumming is always gonna take a bit of time, because we have to go all the way back to before we entered the map in order to get the game to give us a different artifact. Like, we can't simply save before we interact with that tree, because the artifact will already be determined. That's the way loot generation works in this game. Alright, it should also be better at recognizing the tree. I think it's this tree. Okay, come on. Okay.
I don't know.
Longsword. Some
I
gold.
don't know.
I am gonna take this longsword because while I'm not going to keep it, I would rather have a different artifact. There is something I want to show you. And this is gonna take a while, but this is an important lesson. Did I take the spear? No, because I was so confident that it wasn't an artifact, I left it behind. Am I going to rue that decision? Probably not. I'm pretty sure at this point in the game I know which things are artifacts and which ones aren't. What we want to do is we want to go to one of the merchants in the town to help us identify the sword that we picked up. Because while we're not keeping it, there's one very valuable and important lesson that I need to impart to anybody watching the series and who is also maybe thinking of attempting a run where they're going to get, the maximum number of artifacts that they can. There's one important thing for you to keep in mind. Okay, this is getting... Where the heck is the weapon shop? I spent so much time fixated on, well, the whole thing with the excuse me, getting across the water and then finding the tree, that now I'm wandering around like an idiot. Okay, polished shield, that doesn't sound like weapons, but surely the weapon store is Steel's Vault? Is this the thing? Or is that a bank? That is a bank. Where is the... Oh god, where is the weapon store? Okay, here it is. Here it is.
It's closed.
Keen Edge is closed because we walked around so long like idiots.
Our axes are the best.
So we're going to display our inventory. We're going to identify this. This is the sword Havoc. Pretty fantastic sword, actually. Tempted to keep it, but I'd rather have something that one of these two can use. But the reason I the reason I walked all this way, despite the fact that I'm not keeping this item, is that I need to illustrate two things. Number one, look at the item type. This is a relic, and the reason it's a relic is because it has bonuses but also a penalty, whereas artifacts have smaller bonuses but no penalty. But the more important thing is, look at the item type. It says longsword, it does not say relic. So whereas previously in Might and Magic 6 and 7, if you found an artifact or relic, the game would tell you artifact or relic. In this game, it doesn't. It's only upon identifying the item that you realize, okay, it's got a special name, a special description, and a really, really high value, which you know, is a bit dangerous because in addition to the game not labeling it as a relic or artifact at the outset, the item graphic will sometimes also resemble normal items. And this one, I'm pretty sure, is also a graphic that is used by that belongs to a normal sword, you know, that could be magical, whatever. So you do need to be careful whenever you're in areas that can generate artifacts, because sometimes you may leave them, like, unless you're picking everything up, and I strongly recommend you pick everything up, but if you're leaving things behind because you think they look like regular items, there is a chance that you might be leaving behind artifacts. Right, so that is the long-winded lecture that I felt the need to give, but I think it's pretty important information to know. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go
Come
back,
aboard! Anchors away! Anchors away!
and we're gonna do this whole thing again. We're gonna keep doing it until we get an artifact that one of these two can use. Ideally, some sort of mace. That would be nice. But I would even take, you know, some armor or some ring that's beneficial, like some gloves or some boots. A bow would be really nice, if it's one that one of them can use. Yeah, so there's quite a few that I would accept. So hopefully we don't have to do this pretty, you know, for an you know, outrageously long amount of time, and it's interacting with this tree is so finicky.
Ow!
Like,
Oops.
oh my god, these wolves are attacking us. Okay.
I don't know.
Staff is not
Who
what
knows?
I need. Man, come on. Come on. Let's keep on doing
Come
this.
aboard! Come aboard! Come aboard! Anchors away!
Okay. We're gonna keep doing this, and if it becomes too long, I will skip ahead to what we find eventually. Although I'm leaning towards not skipping, mainly because we're doing a 100% run, and I feel like it adds to the legitimacy if there isn't any lost footage. I mean, not that I think you guys would doubt my integrity, but having all the footage there makes it clear that, you know, nothing funky is going on behind the scenes. Not that I would even know how to edit this game to that level, even if I wanted to. One thing I will demonstrate, though, is I will save here. I'm gonna call this container demo. Let's just call it container demo. Don't want to save over my.
Ow!
Oops.
All right.
I don't know.
Now, what's the artifact
I
here?
don't know.
Is it the axe or the bow or the hat, or did it not generate? Either way, I'm gonna load up this file,
Oops.
and you'll see that we have the same items.
I don't know.
In different positions. I think
know.
last time the hat was up there, you know, things were moved, like the scroll was over here. But it is the same items. This is just to prove what I mentioned earlier, that the only way to get a new artifact, or to get new chest contents, is
Come
to
aboard!
load your save,
Anchors away!
to load the save that you made before you entered the area at all. because that is the point at which the contents of the chests are determined. That is why I'm doing this very, you know, this tedious exercise of going all the way back and then walking, because this really is the fastest way, unfortunately, that I know how to do this. Okay. I guess one bit of good news, at least the trap isn't killing us, which is good. Because sometimes these traps can be pretty powerful. Excuse me. Okay.
Very devious. Who knows?
Okay, chainmail. I think this might be something that only Dark Elves can use.
I don't know.
He obviously doesn't know. I actually know this might be a chainmail that the cleric can eventually use. Like, I'm sorry, I'm wasting a bit of time, but I do need to check what this is. If I was better prepared, I would have the list of artifacts and relics. In fact, you know what? Rather than walk all the way, let's actually look it up, because that'll be a quicker thing, and then I'll have it. I will have it ready for the next time we have to do this. If we have to do this again, alright. So, let's look through the list of artifacts. Oh no, this is the Gloamin mail, I think. Only Dark Elves can use that. Sadly, we are gonna have to load our game once again. Oof. One of these
Come
days.
aboard! Anchors away!
One of these days, it's gonna happen. Alright, let's do that all over again. You know what I think I'll do is I will put a timestamp indicator in the video itself, letting you know where you can skip to in order to get to the point where I have found the artifact that I'm looking for, which I think is the best compromise. It means I don't have to lose any, I don't have to crop out any footage. And also, if you aren't interested in watching all of these attempts that I'm not even keeping, then you can go straight on.
Oops.
Here we go.
I don't know.
Breaker. I already know what this is. And we're gonna keep it. And now we just need to get back to town without dying. We're running away from these wolves. And as soon as it's green, we'll know, you know, this indicator next to the characters. As soon as it's green, we'll know that we're relatively safe. Now that we're relatively safe, I can show you that we can indeed use this, get a tremendous damage boost, and attack rating boost. It also gives us some nice stat boosts on top of it. So we're definitely keeping this. In fact, let me save my game in slot 4. We're gonna identify this item, and then we are going to probably call this video to a close. Well, we'll do one more thing. We'll identify this item. Okay, this is the place.
The store is closed.
The store is closed, although we didn't miss it by much. Let's find some grass to rest on, because that will reduce the food cost to 1 rather than 2, and now we'll just wait a little bit. And now we'll go back to Keen Edge.
Our axes are the best.
Identify this. This is the Club Breaker, which is just straight up, like, there's nothing bad about it. Might plus 20, endurance plus 20, extra body damage on top of the great damage it already does. Just a beautiful, beautiful thing. And if I'm being honest, if I had to handpick an artifact to find at the beginning, this is the one I would have picked. So I actually cannot believe our luck. Sadly, it's so large that when you're wielding it, like, this is such a beautiful graphic, it kind of gets cut off. But like, you can see the menacing eyes a little bit in the skull. Like, you can't really see the spikes, but like, you can. It still looks pretty badass, I have to say. And the other thing that I'm gonna do is we'll run here and we're gonna pick up some horseshoes. I'm gonna give these horseshoes to myself because I'm greedy like that. I want all of the bonuses. No, it's because early on in the game I do want to improve my body magic, just to have better healing. Okay, and that, my friends, is the last thing we are gonna do in this episode. So, okay. Let's recap what we did. We started off with something that went a lot more smoothly than I would have expected to. By that I meant jumping across the water to get to the boat. We bypassed the entire opening questline to do this. In fact, looking back on it, if I had known that I would get it done on the first attempt without even either of them dying, I wouldn't, have needed to give you that whole story about how hungover I was, and indeed how hungover I still am. Although if you think about it, in a way, like, doesn't that make it even more impressive that I was able to do it first attempt under those circumstances? Come on, admit it. You're at least a little bit impressed. Come on, So if you were impressed, you know what to do. You just smash that like button. No, I'm just joking. You don't need to if you don't want to. And even if you do want to, don't smash it. Just press it gently. Don't go around smashing things. That's just violent behavior. And besides, as far as I know, the force with which you press the like button doesn't actually make a difference in terms of YouTube's recorded statistics, so no need for any smashing. But yes, we went across the water. We skipped basically the entire opening segment of the game to get to Ravenshore, and in Ravenshore we technically this is also one of the secrets in the game, so one of my completionist goals is to find all of the secrets, and there are actually secrets, I think, even on Dagger Wound Island that we left behind. But the reason we did this was not because we're hunting secrets right now, but because this particular secret is a hidden chest with an artifact. And we went and we did it a few times until we got the artifact that we wanted, and now we are poised to do even more crazy stuff. So I mentioned in the previous video that things are gonna be crazy for a while. We're not gonna settle into a regular feeling playthrough for at least another couple of videos. And once again, I'm going to leave you in a bit of suspense and not tell you exactly what it is. that we're gonna be doing in the next episode, but like it might not necessarily be as crazy as what happened in this episode. Actually, you know what? I take that back. It might even be crazier now that I'm remembering everything that we're gonna do and all that is gonna be required for it. It's gonna be even more insane. But these are the kinds of insane things that I have to do in order to give myself the best chance of getting all the artifacts, while also giving myself a bit of a leg up in the game. You know, that was the whole point of saves coming until we got something cool like this. And, you know what, before we end off this video, we found this amazing mace, and how disappointing would it be if I just ended the video without at least hitting something with it. I don't want to go around hitting civilian... Excuse me, I don't want to go around assaulting civilians or these...
I'm not sure what it is.
Lovely,
I'm not sure what it is.
law enforcement personnel walking around. So let's instead attack the local wildlife. Let's bait, hopefully, just one of these wolves to come towards us. And like just cave its head in, I guess. I mean, you've got to actually... You've got to... here we go. I was going to say you've got to actually hit the thing, Alistair. And yes, while I am role-playing, I do actually refer to myself in the third person as well. So this is not breaking immersion for me to call myself by my name. It's something I do in real life as well. But yes, that was quite satisfying. I just wish you'd landed that shot earlier, but you can see that was a pretty hefty amount of damage that we dealt. And alright. On that note, I think it is time to draw things to a close. I thank you for watching. I hope you're gonna stick around for the rest of the series, because things are gonna get, or they're gonna continue to be crazy, and you trust me, you do not want to miss it. So until the next time, take care.